Hi everyone, Tracie here with Bible Journaling Ministries and Faith Inspirations. I'm so glad that you're here today. If you are saying hi to me, put it in the comments so I can say hi to you. Let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to check and make sure that we're live on YouTube and in Facebook. So let me just double check and make sure everything is good. Let me know in the comments if you can hear me as well. So let me just check real quick just because I want to make sure. Okay, it looks like we are live. So let me share to the group, and that's going to be Faith Inspirations. All right, so we're good to go there. And let me double check YouTube. I think we're live on YouTube as well, but let me just double check. Let's see. All right, Faith Inspirations. Let's see. Are we live? Are we live? Let's see. Oh, please. Oh, we are live because I see you guys. Yay. Oh, good. Hi, Barbara. Good to see you. So good to see you. Okay. So if you are going to do Faith Inspirations with me today, we're going to be doing our November challenge. So I have mine here. We're going to be using our Distress ink. So the Distress ink colors that I have are going to be Gathered Twigs, Victorian Ink Velvet, and Broken China. So those are the three colors I have today to do Faith Inspirations with you. And then I just have a black pink pen. So it says to outline the dots in black ink. So I'll be doing that. And today we're going to be focusing on Proverbs verse 25. Proverbs 25, verse 21 through 22. But before I get started, I just want to say hi to all you guys that are there. Hi, Jenny. Good to see you. I'm so glad to see you again. Betsy, good to see you. Welcome. Betsy's new. Good to see you too, hun. Let me double check. I need to make sure that I have the Faith Inspirations up as well because I don't think I can see what's in the group. So let me just get there. And that way we will be ready to go and I can make sure that I'm seeing any comments, hopefully, that come into the group. So let's see. All right, so nobody's in the group yet, so that's totally okay. Okay, so welcome all my new friends and my friends that have been with me forever. If you're new, welcome. You might have joined us from our conference. We did our annual sale, which we only do once a year, and we were able to welcome in 100 new members. So welcome. So glad that you're here. I will show you everything, where to get all the things, and we'll make it really quick so that everyone who's been around for a while is like, okay, I'm gonna go get my coffee while you do this. So, but I'm so excited that you guys are here. Hi, Jenny, good to see you as well. And Bo, nice to see you as well. Okay, so this month we are focused on Proverbs 25, verses 21 through 22. So how do you get your stuff? Okay, let me show you. Let me grab my desktop so you can see it. Uh-oh, hold on. It wants to make sure I give it permission. Hold on. This is a new computer. Well, maybe it won't give me permission to do it this time because it says I have to quit and redo it. Aw, but I think you can still see it. I think you can still see. Hopefully you can still see my desktop, and if you can't, then I apologize. I think you can. Let me know in the comments. Are you seeing my desktop? I think. Are you seeing my desktop? Oh, let me just double check. Oh yeah, you are, because I can see it on my phone. Okay, so if you are a new member, this is your website. And if you are a basic member, which means you join for free, you go here to the basic membership, and then you go here to your challenge. And then you can scroll down, you can get the video that Lori has put together for you, and then you can download the challenge card. So if you're a basic member, you go to the basic membership tab. If you're a premium member, first of all, thank you for really helping out with our ministry, because it really does help to put these on. You go to challenges, and then you just scroll to challenges, and you can actually do any challenge. So you can do even the past ones if you want to. And then when you get to the bottom of the page, there's these little buttons over here that's like 1, 2, and 3. You guys, there's so many on here. You can just click 2 and 3 and keep going, and you'll get all the seasons 1 through, wherever we are today. So just keep scrolling when you get to the bottom. And this is true for every page. So when you get to the bottom of the page, you can just scroll, you can just click 1 or 2 and you can just continue to get all the challenges. Maybe you've missed one. You might want to just go ahead and check those out. So once you get to challenges, you just go ahead and you click on challenges again. And then you just scroll down past the videos, and then here you'll be able to download not only the challenge card, but our premium members get the entire kit, which I'll show you in just a minute. Also, our premium members have access to our entire library. So just go to the library section as well. We've got the Pumpkin Time clip art for you this month. So just go ahead and click that. And then you can download the PDF if you want to just download, you know, the PDF and cut it out or however you want. But you also get the PNG files as well for all of our clip art. So you can, you know, put them on cards. You can do all kinds of things with them. So the library is just fun bonus for you. We had the silver elements last month. We had the iron sharpens iron the previous month. We've got vintage grapes. We've got some really cool collage paper, really cool things for you guys. And each of these has a PDF as well as a PNG. So hopefully that helps anyone who's new. And if you haven't joined us, you just click the Join Today button. And then you can either choose the free plan, just use the promo code FREE at the checkout, or you can select the premium plan, which is low as $8.29. So hopefully that is helpful. And now back to the live. I always like to show you guys how to navigate, especially if you're new, and just welcome you to Faith Inspirations. This is going to be a really great month. I can't wait to see what you guys are doing. All right. So, okay. Now let's go ahead and look at, by the way, the background here is my bedroom. This is RV life today. So if you guys know, I'm usually in my van, but we're going to do a little bit of long-term stay. So we have our RV, which is bigger than the van. I like more space. Believe me, it's much nicer to have a lot of space. But when we're traveling in the van, we like stop and go, stop and go, stop and go. So we need a smaller car, smaller rig. But when we're doing longer term stays, it sure is nice to have an RV. It's like 200 square foot, which is huge. It's huge. All right, let me turn the camera down. You can see my desk, and then we will look at all of the fun printables for this month. If you joined us, if you are a Bible Journaling Ministries member as well, boy, that was a fun live by Shallon today. She had so many fun things to share. I will not have as big as mine won't be as big of a pile as hers was. That's for sure. She had quite a big pile to share today. Okay, so today we're going to be using our November 2024 challenge. And again, if you're a basic member, you get this card for free. So you get everything, you have all the steps, you got the colors, you got the videos. Okay. And if you're a premium member, you get all the rest of the stuff. So we're going to be working on Proverbs 25, 21 through 22. And I will read it out of the NIV, even though the verse is here, I could read that, but I like to read in different versions too. So I'll just read out of the NIV. And this is Proverbs 25, verse 21 and 22. It says, if your enemy is hungry, give him food to eat. If he is thirsty, give him water to drink. In doing this, you will heap burning coals on his head, and the Lord will reward you. So that is our verse for today. We can talk a little bit more about what that would mean. Like, what exactly is burning coal? We can talk about that if you want to. In our technique, we're going to be using distress ink. So you can use any distress ink you have, but because I am traveling, I have small, little, tiny ones. So I showed you at the beginning of the video my tiny, tiny ones that I'll be using. But you can use ink, and you can use, I have the little ink pads. So I'll be using the ink pads and just kind of adding water to them. Although I kind of feel like I want a little bit brighter than this. This is Victorian Velvet, but I may want like something a little bit more bright. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, so we're going to apply a wash of brown to our page together. We're going to loosely drop in some color. We're going to apply some darker spots towards the bottom of the page. We can allow the page to dry, add a focal image, drop some darker spots of color around the image, outline the spots with black or white pen, and then add words, verses, or quote. So that is our challenge for today. We'll get all that done together. And then if you want to do more, feel free to do more. Lori Spencer does our videos. So she does our tutorials every month. So you can navigate to Faith Inspirations and watch those videos. If you don't want to do this live with me, you don't need to. You can do it with her as well. She did an amazing job, as she normally does. I love her work. It's so cool. It's so cool. And so fun. All right, so we are going to be, let's see. Oh, Jenny, just if you still want your Momentum membership, just email support, hun. I don't want you to go without. So just email support. No problem, babe. All right. So you've been with us forever. So please email support and let us know what's going on. We'll set you up. Okay. All right. So in our word Fetty, we have our verse here. So again, the verse is written here. And then you have extra word Fetty. Be generous. God will surprise you. Love your enemies and pray for others. Okay. And then we have our large focal image. Why is that zooming in and out? That's just annoying. Hold on. Can I stop that? No. It won't let me stop that. Why are you doing that? So annoying. Huh. Don't cry, Jenny. Oh, why is it doing that? Use manual focus. Okay, yeah. Hold on, guys, while I just try to focus this. Oh, much better. Boy, how annoying was that, right? It was just like, okay, so now it's good. All right, so we have the larger image here. And then we have our two smaller images, if you like those. And then we have our ephemera, which is really cool. We've got these little trees here and some of these little silhouette girls, which they're giving presents, right? Because we're talking about being nice to our enemies. And so, you know, maybe these girls were fighting and they're making up with their presents. So you could use this as well. And then we also have a little tip in, or you can use this as your focal image. I may use this as a focal image. I think it's really cool. I love how the heart is kind of in the tree, just kind of representing love growing in kind of the darkness of the background, which is kind of things that we're going to try to replicate in our faith art this month. Just kind of the idea of maybe having some darkness, but then popping in some of that color and then sprouting out, you know, basically love. So you can use this, or you can use, you know, one of these images if you want to for a focal. It's totally up to you. And then we have our stencil. So you get this in a PNG file. So if you have a Cricut or a Silhouette machine or Brother Scan and Cut, whatever you have, you can make one of these little stencils, and that would be really fun. Or if you don't have one of those, no worries. You can cut one of these out if you want to, or what we like to say is use it as collage paper. It's totally okay. Thank you, Carmen. I'm so glad you like it. And then we have our background verse. So this comes in a portrait size and a landscape size for if you prefer the landscape over the portrait. It's totally up to you, whichever one you want to use. But this is our verse. And I love to, this is my favorite. I will keep these when I don't use them. I keep them in a pile and I use them for any art journaling that I'm doing throughout the month. So I know that I have my wonderful, beautiful word, my scripture in my art, and I don't have to worry what it says because I know what it says, right? So I know this is our verse and I know this is the beautiful word of God, and so I can put that in any of my faith art and just enjoy that. I love this as collage paper, so I always keep mine and keep it handy. And then you can use also this as your collage paper as well. So sometimes we like a little bit of vintage look to it, so you can just add that as well. Totally up to you. All right, so that is your main kit for the month. That's the one we're going to be using during our time today as we do it live. And then we have our pumpkin time. This is our clip art. So if you print out the clip art, you can print out the PDF like this, or you can just take the PNG files and just, you know, put them in, you know, Canva or whatever you want, and make as many pumpkins as you want or as many leaves as you want. Just have a lot of fun with your fall pumpkin time printable. And I sometimes print mine out and I cut mine out Was done in my Cricut, so this is actually a sticker. So I can use it for anything. So super fun and exciting. So I have mine. This is my, so that's everything for the month. But for our time today, I've got mine printed out on sticker paper because it makes it a lot easier for me to cut during the live. So I print mine on sticker paper just because it's super fast for me. And then I wanted to show you here that I have cut out my stencil, the stencil that I was showing you just a minute ago. Here. So you get this in a PNG file, and then I just put mine into the Cricut, and then I just cut mine out. This is done on Yupo paper, but you can do it on anything. You can do it on stencil paper. I prefer Yupo paper. It just seems to cut nicer for me, but you can choose whatever you want. So with that, that's everything that's included in our Faith Inspirations kit this month. I hope that you guys really enjoy it and have a fun time with me as we do this challenge together, live together. I'm so glad to be here. All right, so, I do want to remind you guys that next meeting is going to be December 2nd. Normally, we would do it the Friday before. Anytime the first falls on a weekend, we usually do it the Friday before. But this Friday is the Friday before December 1st is actually Black Friday, and we thought that everybody would be super busy during that day because it's like the day after Thanksgiving too. So we're going to do it on Monday, December 2nd. So hopefully you'll mark your calendars for that, and we can have a fun time on the 2nd together. A little bit different than normal, but you know, it's life, right? Okay. So those are the updates, and I am ready to do my challenge with you. Let me grab I got this little plastic cover that I use for to keep them in, but I'm going to use it today as palette paper so that I can spray and do all kinds of fun stuff on it. Let me grab my journal. So this is my journal that I'm using. Now I make these all the time. I love making these journals because they're so much cheaper than regular journals. And I just put my Faith Inspirations on this side and then my Faith card on the other side. So this is mine that I've been working on. And I have just a few pages left in this one, and then I'll get to retire this one. Oh, this is last month's. We were doing this one in the van, if you remember. And so I can go here and do this month's. So yeah, I think these journals only cost me like 50 cents to make. And they hold quite a bit. And then we can just, grab a new one whenever we're done and retire the old one. All right, let me grab something to drink. All right. Let's see. I don't know if I'm missing comments in the group because I'm really having a hard time seeing the group, but it looks like there's no comments in there, so it looks like I'm still good. Okay, good. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and start us off in prayer, and then I'm going to go do our Faith Inspirations challenge together. So if you would bow your head with me and we can pray. Oh, Father, thank you so much for a wonderful start to November. We are so excited to dive deep into your word this month, Lord. We are just in love with you and so excited and so grateful and thankful that you have chosen us to be your children. Father, I pray today that as we go through Proverbs, we think about what it is to love our enemies and how, Lord, can we do that? You will direct us, Lord, throughout this month. And we pray that whatever you put on our hearts, Lord, we would just take that to heart and take the steps that you have for us each and every day. Father, I pray this time honors and glorifies you, and I invite you to join us as we lift you up in this time of worship. In Jesus Christ's name I pray. Amen. Okay, so this is fun. The first thing I'm going to do, what I do, especially for my new friends who haven't done this with us yet, make sure I get this on camera. All right, the first thing I do is I go and I look at my challenge card and I grab all my colors. So when you're grabbing your colors, if you don't have the same color as me, don't worry about it. Use whatever you have. We purposely don't make you go get any supplies because supplies are expensive. And we just want you to use what the Lord has put in your hands. So if the Lord has put in so many supplies in your hand, then amazing. We love it. We want you to use those. But if the Lord has not put all kinds of supplies in your hands, then use what the Lord has given you. So you can use different paints and things. If all you have is paint in this color, you don't have distress ink and you don't want it, or you don't have the resources, then just use what you have. It's totally cool and okay. But today I will be using distress ink, the ones that I have. Oh, what are you guys saying in the chat? I'm missing some chat. Hi, Lori. Good to see you. Carmen says, yes, I've made the journals as well. I also made the magazine journals. Oh, those are so fun. I wish I had my magazine journal to share with you here. I'll have to make a new one. I love the magazine journals. Yeah, and Lori says, especially the free ones that come in the mail. Totally. Or the Amazon Christmas catalog, if you still get that. That is amazing. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do, step number 1, is apply a light wash of brown to your page. So how do I get a light wash of brown when all I have is this distress ink pad? So I'm just going to take this distress ink pad and I'm just going to smush it. I'm smushing it. You probably can't see that. Let me put some white behind so you can see better. Okay. See, you can see it better. All right, so I have a little bit down on here. So my ink is just down on this page. And then I'm going to go ahead and take my spray bottle full of water and I'm just going to boop, 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 boop. I think I'm going to, there we go. So I'm activating that ink. Okay, so that's good. I think that's plenty. And then I'm going to apply a light wash onto my page. But before I do that, I'm going to place something down here so I don't get everything messy. Let me scoot everything over so you guys can see. All right. So I'm just going to grab my paintbrush here. And I'm just going to add a light wash of brown onto this page. Super easy, 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 guys. You can do this. You guys can do this. It's so easy. We're just adding a light wash onto the page. Okay. And it's good if you can get your page somewhat wet, because when you add your drops of color, it will be nicer. It will drop in. It will drop in for you. And you're probably wondering, what am I talking about? Well, I want to add some darker color. So if I can find what I did with my ink pad, there it is, it's way over here. I can make it a little bit darker now. Just come in there, add a little bit of that there, and then I'm just going to drop in some of this color, a little bit darker, okay, because I didn't add as much water with this. So I'm just going to use my paintbrush, and use whatever you have. Again, if you don't have a big paintbrush like I do, use whatever paintbrush you have. And it just says loosely drop in spots of color. So I'm going to add spots of dark color to the bottom of the page, because I'm actually reading, I actually read number 3, apply darker spots towards the bottom of the page. I actually read that first. So I'm going to just add some darker at the bottom. And again, I need to add more to my mat to get darker color. Okay. And then I can just drop that color in. And when you're dropping that color in, it will just naturally blend in. So I'm going to just do this in the dark for a little bit, and then I'll come back and do some of the lighter wash again so I can drop in some other colors. All right. So I would like to next drop in some blue. So let me grab some blue. This is the Broken China. I can't wait to see if you guys are doing this with me and seeing what you guys put in the group. And I can just drop in some color there. And my brown's a little bit dry, but that's okay. It's not spotting out like I like, but that's okay. I don't really want to add any more. I don't really want to add any more water to this page. So you kind of have to work a little bit fast whenever you're trying to drop in color and doing wet on wet for whatever technique you're using or whatever mediums you're using. So I'm going to grab some of this velvet, Victorian velvet. I'm going to add a little bit to my mat here. And again, I'm going to grab some with my brush and then just add some of that color as well. You can see that if I add the Victorian velvet to the blue, you see how that just kind of spreads out like that? It's so pretty, right? So if I just drop in some of the Victorian velvet onto the blue, it just spreads out much nicer. So I really like that. So it's nice to have a page that's a little bit wet to do all the dropping. So I could come in here and add a little bit of brown and then come in with some blue and then drop in that blue. Just like that. It's a light color, light little wash of blue. Boop, 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 like that. Boop, boop, boop. So I just love how that just kind of blends in like that and creates a beautiful colored background. I do want to add some more Victorian velvet. So again, this is like, there's no science behind like how many drops you need or how much color you need. You just do it until you find a little joy. And you just smile and you go, oh, that's interesting. I like that. And if you find that you did a little too much or not enough, you can add more. You can also take away. To take away, I should have brought a paper towel. I don't have one with me. So I can't really take it away unless I get clever and use this, which is just my sock. So if you want to take away, just kind of grab a paper towel. Don't grab your sock like I just did, but you just kind of boop, take it away. Okay. I want to add a little more blue. Oh, I did. I put it on the mat already. And so I'm just going to activate that blue, and then I'm going to just drop that in as well. Just patter, just, you know, pitter patter with the blue, pitter patter with the pink until you get something that you're happy with and is a nice background that you like. Okay. Lori says, I love distress ink. I do too. And I love it because it's so versatile. Like these pads can be used for watercolor. They can be used for stamping. You can use them. It's so versatile. You know, you could even come in here and just stamp if you want to. So, you know, do your thing, whatever makes you smile. Okay, I'm actually just moving this around because I do want it to dry just without having to go get a hairdryer, because I don't think I have one here. Honestly, I don't think I brought one with me. All right, more blue. I need more blue. There's not enough blue on this page. So I'm going to add more blue. Again, drop, drop, drop. Tap, pitter patter, pitter patter, pitter patter. Drop, 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 drop. Drop it, drop it. Drop it like it's hot. I had to say it. I am a little extra joyful today because today is my anniversary. I have been with my husband for 27 years. Actually married for 27 years. Been together for probably 35 years. I don't know. We were 7 years together before we got married. I snagged him in high school. I was a smart girl. Snagged him when he was young before he could find someone else. So, yeah, we're 27 years together. Okay, I'm loving this background. If you guys want to add splatters, you're welcome to add splatters if you like them. I love them, but I'm not going to add them. But I like them. But what a pretty background, right? What a really just varied background. You're never going to be able to repeat this more than once. Like, this is it. Like, you do this once and that's it. But I love, one of the coolest things about watercolor when it dries is it kind of creates a stark outline on it. It's just kind of neat. So I love it. All right, so that is step number 1. And step number 2, apply a wash of brown to your page. Loosely drop in spots of color. Done. Apply darker spots towards the bottom of the page. I have that, but I would love it if I could get them to be a little more spotty, like a little more circular. So let's see what we can do. All right. Oh, thanks, Jenny. Jenny says I'm still smart. Thank you. Thank you, Carmen. You guys are so sweet. Can we try a regular stamping ink and not distress? You can, depending on what type of ink you have. You'll be able to activate that with water and use it. You should be fine. It just depends on the type of ink you have, but it should be fine. So I'm actually doing right now, adding the spots of brown just around the bottom of the page, and I'm just kind of trying to get them. I want darker, so you can see them, so they look like circles, you know, just a little bit different is what I'm looking for. Some variation here on my page. So I'm just doing a bunch of little different circles here. Do circles like that. If they would just drop like a circle, I'd be happy, but they're not dropping like a circle. So, but yeah, you can try your regular stamping ink if you don't have distress. Oh, Glinda, you've been married 27 years in September. My goodness, that is a feat. Congratulations, my friend. What a blessing. Isn't it a blessing? I love it. I love it. Okay, so I dropped in some of the brown. So I got some darker brown colors here at the bottom of my page. Looks good. I'm happy with it. I might add a little bit more kind of to like darker to the bottom. Let's see how that looks, just to kind of make sure I don't have any whiteness. It seems weird to go light and then dark and then have this white stark white right here. So I'm gonna add a little bit more to that. So you can just have a lot of fun with this. Just, you know, play, have a lot of fun. While you're playing, we can be thinking about our verse, right? So our verse, I mean, that's a wonderful thing about doing faith art, right? Because it's not just about the art, right? It's actually quite often not about the art. Although we can sometimes, you know, get stuck in that, right? But with Faith Inspirations and with Anything Bible Journaling Ministries, we're more focused on the word than we are on the art. So we don't really care if our art is amazing or not. We do this because this allows us to spend a little more time in the word and just kind of ponder it a little bit more. So that's what you do. Oh, I like this now. Okay. So as we kind of finish this up with the darkness, right? We can think about our verse. And our verse for today. Again, if your enemy is hungry, give them food to eat. If they are thirsty, give them water to drink. So let's think about that first. While this is going to dry, I finish 1, 2, and 3. Allow the page to dry and add a focal image. So while this is drying, I'm just going to grab a focal image so I have an idea of what I'm going to start placing down here next. I'm going to grab this, check this off, and then we're talking about giving our enemies something, right? So why do we do that? Why does the Lord want us to give our enemies, you know, food to eat? If they are thirsty, give them water. Shouldn't we just take revenge on our enemies, right? I just feel like, you know, obviously there are enemies for a reason, right? So shouldn't we just, you know, take them out? No, right? We can't do that. We're Christians. The Lord says we have to love our enemies. And so with that, let's think about, you know, how do you show someone some love and compassion, right? Well, you help them out. And you can help them out, you know, maybe with some food or, you know, maybe a drink, invite them over for a drink. A lot of times you'll find that people are a little less mean when you invite them over for something delicious to eat or something something nice to drink, right? So you can invite them over to watch the ball game if you want to, and then maybe, you know, serve them up something, you know, some nice fruit punch or whatever. I personally don't drink, so I couldn't invite anyone over for any kind of alcohol, but I could make a really amazing smoothie or a milkshake and we could have a fun time doing that. Usually if I'm inviting people over, it's got some food involved. So we'll make some like ponzu or some lumpia or some egg rolls, right? And a lot of times that makes people feel at ease. And I have done that with people who have not been nice to me, i.e. some of my neighbors. But yeah, so we invite them over and we show them love and kindness, and we hope that that helps them to see Jesus, right? But the second part of the verse, right? The second part of the verse says, in doing this, you will heap burning coals on their head, and Yahweh will reward you. So what is like burning coals on someone's head? There's some background you can look into that, like in terms of like what the Romans used to do with coals. I think the Romans used to make people who were bad, I don't know, convicts or whatever. They used to make them put the burning coals in a bin on top of their head and walk around. Not cool, by the way. Definitely not cool. But in our time, like, what would this mean? I think for me, as I kind of think through this kind of means for me, like conviction, like you're kind of a jerk to me, right? But I'm nice to you, right? And I'm not suggesting that you let people walk all over you. That I never suggest that. I always suggest stand up for yourself, right? But you can be nice to somebody without letting them walk all over you. You can draw boundaries, so that you can show them kindness, and hopefully they feel some kind of repentance for whatever it is that they did. And a lot of times people just don't know what they did, and so sometimes it's good to have someone over, maybe for some tea, one-on-one, and just kind of share with them, hey, you said this to me the other day. What did you mean by that? And when you're in a one-on-one setting, someone can come back and tell you what they meant, right? And then you can ask them, well, tell me more, right? And try to understand from their perspective what they're trying to say to you, right? But if they're just being, and a lot of times if they're going to come over for tea, they're not going to be a jerk to you. They're going to really think about what they said. And then, then you can chime in and say, oh, okay, I see how you felt that way. And if I said that same thing to you, how would you feel? Right? And then they could probably think about it, and maybe you could get them to come around to actually understanding your perspective, right? And maybe you can get an apology, or if you don't, that's okay. The Lord will work things out. So hopefully that's encouraging to you. What I did in just a minute ago here, for those of you guys who are just joining, is I just added a little water to this, and I think I'm going to make this my focal image, which is one of our ephemera for this month. And I just applied a little water to it, and then I just tore it out. So I have a nice kind of feathered look to this, which I kind of like. And I'm just gonna, kind of tear off any end that looks like a little bit too white. And then as I was doing that, I was just talking about our verse for today. So, yeah, I mean, what do you guys do? Are you guys nice to your enemies? I will tell you, the other day I was not nice to my enemy, and then I felt kind of bad about it. I felt kind of bad about it. I was driving down I-10, and I guess he wasn't my enemy, but this car was going slow, and so I went to pass him. And then he sped up, so he was trying to close the gap. There was this huge gap in front of him, and I was just going to pass him and get in front of him. And then he closed the gap, and I still got over. I was just like, I probably shouldn't have. So I probably should have left it and let him have his space. I don't know. He was not happy about me trying to pass him, and I don't know why it is. Like, if you're going slow, if you're going slow, sometimes you got to let people pass you. But yeah, he was not happy. Okay, this is still wet, so I'm going to let this dry while I work on this side here. And for this side, I think what I'll do on this side, I'm thinking maybe, no, because I'm going to put the verse here. So I usually put the verse right here. I put my little card right here. Trying to make sure you guys can see that. And I think I'm done with all of my distress. So I'm going to put that out of the way before I accidentally cause mayhem on my desk. I'm going to just put that right behind me. There we go. So that's where that looks like so far. Oh, let's see what you guys are saying. Oh, Arlene, good to see you. Nice to see you, sweetheart. So glad you joined. Glenda says, yes, truly a blessing. Juanita says, hello, coming in late. Hey, Juanita, good to see you. Arlene says, show them compassion by not treating them how they treat you. Yes. Huh. Alina says, some people are scary to approach you or talk to you. Do you mean like when they come up to you? Because yes. So number one, always be aware of your surroundings. Always be aware of your surroundings. But I once had this homeless guy. I took a picture with him because he looked really weird. He had all this, I'm looking for my, by the way, I'm looking for my, what'd I do with my, my collage paper? Oh, it's over here. Hello. He had all these like, cans. You know the little pops on the cans, the little, you know how you have a can of soda pop? And you know how you have like that little thing, the tab? He was like decked out in all these tabs. Like he had put all the tabs all over his clothing. And, you know, he was just, you know, it was just really weird. And then so then I went and sat next to him. There were other people around. And then I just started talking to him. He was so cool. I really enjoyed him. But yeah, he was a little, like, I think some people would say he was a little scary. But, you know, you have to be very, very careful of your surroundings. I am very, very careful of my surroundings. And I also have protection with me if I need it. So I don't put myself in a situation unless, which I have, I'm not going to lie to you guys, I have put myself in a situation which isn't smart, but worked out just fine. I was at, but anyways, I probably shouldn't talk about that one. Maybe in the future we'll talk about it, but it all worked out fine. Let's just say, yeah, let's just move on. But yeah, so this other guy that looked scary, he turned out to be quite a fun guy to hang out with. I think I was waiting outside of the courtroom for my jury duty. And, yeah, he just was decked out and he was homeless. And, you know, honestly, I just gave him money. I didn't have anything, food to give him. I just gave him some money, told him to buy some lunch. And then, we just chatted. He was really cool. I really, you know, tried to, you know, asked him if I could pray for him. And a lot of times for people, if I ask, can I pray for you? A lot of times, I don't think I've ever had anyone say, no, don't pray for me. Even people who aren't like big on Christianity or big on religion. I've never had anyone tell me, no, I can't pray for you. I mean, I was in the parking lot of a Sam's Club once, and the Holy Spirit was like, you need to pray for this girl next to you. And I was like, I don't even know this girl. Like, how am I going to pray for her? And so I was so upset that the Holy Spirit wanted me to do this. I was really, literally upset when the Lord was like, you need to go pray for her. Because sometimes to me that just feels awkward. But anyways, I walked up to her and I was just like, you know, I know this sounds weird, but I feel like I have to pray for you. She was like, thank you so much. I'm going through cancer. And so I just sat and prayed with her and her mom, and they, you know, they cried, and we had a good time. It was a real fun, you know, half an hour of discussion. But yeah, people can be weird if you don't, you know, and doesn't mean that, you know, you just do what the Holy Spirit tells you to do, right? We don't, we can pray for people, and we can, you know, invite them to have a discussion about the Lord. But just, you know, obviously if it's a bad situation, don't put yourself in a bad situation. Like, don't put yourself in a situation where, you know, you could be harmed. So yeah, hopefully that was somewhat helpful, at least at least a little entertaining. So what I did here was I added my background here, which was my verse, which I love. This as collage paper, it's my favorite. Arlene says, I'm not mean to my enemies or treat people bad when they treat me bad. Yeah, I mean, it's just, people can be weird. People can just be, yes. In fact, I actually had an argument with somebody on social media the other day. It was obviously about a proposition in Arizona. In Arizona, we're having elections, and she was listed as my friend, and she was just like, please, 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 vote, basically for Prop 139. And I'm not going to get too political, so I don't do that, but, Arizona already has an abortion, already allows abortion, but this new proposition will allow abortions up to term, basically, and all the ads are awful. And I basically told her why I wouldn't never do that. She was not happy with me. I just when it comes to the babies, I am like huge on speaking out for the babies. Like, this is a crazy world we live in. Okay, so, but I was kind to her, and at the end of our just, nice little online argument, I told her I loved her. She said she loved me. Worked out great. But, at the end of the day, I said, you can have your differences and so will I, but don't ask me to do something like this. This is over 1 million babies dead every year in the United States. It's not okay with me. And it really isn't okay. So if that, if that means you don't like our ministry or you don't want to follow me, that's totally okay. I will always stand up for the babies. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to add my ephemera here. So all to say, you guys can make, it's easy to make enemies when you choose a side, right? So, I love you. I truly do. I love hanging out with you. But if for some reason, I offend you because I stand for babies, then I'm sorry that you feel that way, and I love you, and if that means that you're going to part ways, then that means you're going to part ways. I understand. Totally understand, and I'll pray with you and for you, however. But anyways, all to say, we had a little fun, maybe not so fun, because actually a few people jumped on it, on me about it, because they obviously sided with her. So, which is fine. Okay. All right, so what I did here was I just added my tree as the focal image here. So when I add the tree, the problem with my tree now is it's like floating out in the middle of nowhere, and that's not going to be helpful to me. I like my tree fully grounded. So we'll work with the next steps to try to ground this tree into the ground. Okay? Lisa, good to see you. Good to see you. Oh, thank you. Thank you. 27 years with my lovely husband, who is so patient with me, truly patient with me, and truly supportive. Okay, so I allowed the page to dry. I added a focal image, and the next step is to drop darker spots of color around the image. I have to drop spots of color around the image. Okay. All right, you guys, we're going to drop some more spots of color. I wasn't prepared for that. I thought we were done, but we're not. Okay, back to the distressed ink right here. Okay, I'm going to add some spots of color, darker spots of color. Okay, so add a little more to the mat. Adding a little more Victorian velvet to the mat as well. Okay, I'm glad I didn't put everything up, because I would have came back to this step and I would have been like, oh no, oh no. All right, so I'm going to just grab my blue. All right, and then I'm going to just drop some spots. Dropping spots. I want some bigger spots, so let's try to round those out a little bit. So it says add drop darker spots around of color around the image. Okay. Well, that's going to be fun. So we can discuss things with our enemies, in a way that still gives everyone respect, right? We don't have to agree on everything, but we can take a stand for what we believe in. We don't have to just, let people just think that we agree with them. We can take a stand for what we believe in, and still be mindful and respectful of people, right? And maybe not, enemies might be a sharper word. Friends that just disagree with us, acquaintances or whatever. I don't know. But we can have discussions that are honoring of the Lord and not agree with everybody. We can have difference of an opinion. And I just wish more people would be open to hearing other people's opinions and not always just think what their way is always, the right way. Right? I'm always open to talking to people about things, And I have occasionally, many times, said, I'm sorry. I did not realize that, and I apologize. And a lot of times we've been able to reconcile relationships that way. Right? Well, I kind of like this. I didn't really think about the dots. I didn't think I was going to like the dots, but now I kind of like them. So yay for that step in the printable. That was a good idea to add the little spots around here, because it actually kind of looks really similar to the page. It's kind of cool. I like it. All right. Me too, Antoinette. But it's so tough. It's so tough, and it breaks my heart sometimes. A lot of times. Okay. So I had one neighbor once report me to the city for parking in my yard. It's actually hold on. Drop dark parts around the image. The next one, outline the spots with black or white paint pen. Okay, so I'm going to let this dry for a bit while I start trying to figure out what quotes or verses I want to put here as my verse or quote. So let me think. Love your enemies, pray for others, be generous. I don't know. Should I do the whole verse? I don't know. Let me think. See how this would look. I'm just going to cut this out real quick and just see like what it would look like if I did the whole thing. No, that might be a little much. And then, whoa. But anyways, while I'm cutting this out, I'll share the story with you. He's like a neighbor that like is nice to my face, but like behind my back is not like very nice. He's like that neighbor that like talks behind your back or does things behind your back and is like, yeah, he's that guy. Should I do the girls? Should the girls be here? I kind of like that. I'm gonna do this. Love your enemies. I think I'm gonna do love your enemies. Boy. Anyways, so he reported me to the city of Phoenix because I had a van parked in my driveway, and the city was like, you can't do that. You can't have your van in your driveway because it's an RV. And I was like, well, it's a daily commuter too. We use this car every day, or not every day, but we use it as a commuter car as well, because the van it's not just for living in, it's also for it was also for picking up stuff from Home Depot and stuff like that. And so the city was like, well, you can only have a certain percentage of your yard for parking your car. So we worked with the city actually, and were able to get approval for it. And so, you know, he came back around and he was like, oh, I saw that your car was gone. Did you get in trouble from the city? And I said, well, you know, we did. But then I worked with the city and now it's okay. So we can park there. It's all good. No worries. I don't think he was happy about that. And actually, he hasn't really talked to me since then. But I just kind of was nice and explained to him how we worked with the city and what the city said and what we can do. And then he just kind of went on his way, and I really haven't heard back from him anymore. But yeah, I think that by working with the city and not getting so stressed about it, that's kind of like keeping burning coals on his head. You know, kind of like, look, what you wanted to happen didn't happen. The city said it was fine. We're all good. But yeah, now the van's over here with me. It's not there anymore, but so he's probably happy about that anyways. Thank you so much, Arlene. She says she loves my page. I'm going to go ahead and put, I think, this like this. What do you think? I'm actually wanting to outline these as well, but they're a little bit wet still, so I'm kind of waiting for it to dry. But I kind of like that. And then maybe if I added the girls, it might be even better. So let's just try and see what that looks like. I like these little girls. So I'll fussy cut that while we talk. So what are other ways that you guys can think of that you can show love to your enemies? Because I know it's hard, and we don't, you know, I'm going to be honest, I don't always do a good job of it. I'd love to say to you, like, oh, I'm so good at this, but no, I'm really, you know, sometimes I'm just like, oh, why? Why can't we all be friends? You know, why do you hate me? You don't even know me. Why don't you get to know me? If you got to know me, you might like me. You know? If you just got to know me, if you just took a minute, yes, we don't agree on everything, but do we have to? There are some things though that like I'll be friends with anybody. I mean I've had my share of people that are nasty. And have made friends with them, but I don't trust them. Like I can be friends with somebody and not like trust them, right? I'm actually gonna cut off the bows because I just don't want to fussy cut them, and I'm being a little lazy with that. So I'm gonna just cut this like this. But yeah, I had someone steal money from me once, and I totally forgave her. But it was like I didn't trust her again. I didn't let her in my house again. We were gonna do something. We did something outside, like somewhere else. We met at a place. I didn't invite her in my home again. So you can be friends with people. It doesn't mean you have to trust them. Just yeah. You can forgive, but it doesn't mean you have to open yourself up for them to do the same thing over and over again. Unfortunately, that woman has passed away. So we don't hang out anymore because she passed away. Which is sad. But, you know, while she was here on earth, I forgave her. Let's see what you guys are saying. Honestly, I try to find one quality or gifting they have to compliment them on. That's a great idea. Usually that brings the focus to that positive thing, and the bad things take a back seat. It doesn't always work, but I try. I love that idea. We could totally do that. And again, that's just like our verse says today. You know, if your enemy's hungry, give them food to eat. If they're thirsty, give them water to drink. If they're jerks, you know, give them a compliment. See if that helps. Oh, in fact, funny enough, I had this neighbor once. You guys are going to think I'm like the worst neighbor ever. But I had this neighbor once that almost got into a fist fight with my husband. And I got between the two of them. And I was like, what are you fighting over? Like, and then we finally talked it out. We actually became really good friends with that neighbor after that fight. Oh my goodness. I couldn't believe it. I was like, y'all, both you guys are going to jail. I was glad that nobody took a shot at me, but I literally got in between the two of them. And if you guys know Lonnie, he's so nice. He doesn't want to fight with anybody, but if you come into our property and you're threatening us, my husband's going to protect his family. He's just gonna. So, you know, he was coming into our property. He was being threatening, and yeah, my husband went to defend us, and I got between both of them, and I said, "Can we just talk this out? Y'all are kids. Let's talk it out." And we did, and they actually became really good friends with us. So funny, right? You know, that sometimes things can be difficult, and you can turn them around. You can turn them around. Sometimes, a lot of times, it's a misunderstanding. It's like they thought you did something. You know how people like you cut somebody off and someone thinks you did it on purpose. Like, that's kind of what this was. And eventually, we figured it out. So, good news. Nobody got hurt that day. And we became good friends with our neighbors, which is always good. It might have been because he was annoyed that we always had like Halloween parties and stuff, or parties at our house for the kids, and maybe he was just annoyed at the parking situation. I'm not really sure what the problem was, but we became really good friends. We were like that family that always decorated their house and had all the kids over, and it was just kind of a fun way to get people to come in to see what it was to love like Jesus. It's always been a fun thing for us to do. Now that our kids are grown up, we don't do that anymore because, I'm traveling more these days, and the kids need their space, and so they get their space. All right, what else are you guys saying? Arlene says, I usually pray for the person. Oh, good idea. Yes, absolutely. And keep my distance, but I'm not rude if they attempt to talk to me. Awesome. Well, it's always good to pray for them. Absolutely. Lisa says, it's important to keep boundaries. Totally. Carmen says, I call on Jesus and pretend that he's right next to me so that I don't say or do anything that's disrespectful. Good for you. Carmen, that is so important. Before I come on to these lives, I always pray, like, Lord, you're going to have to do this for me because I really don't have the right words. I don't have, Jesus knows what to say. I don't always know what to say. I'm always praying, like, can you give me a word of encouragement for somebody? Can you help me to, encourage somebody to open up their Bible today and read your word and see how beautiful you are, and he's the one that tells me what to say. I can't do this on my own. Like, I'm not qualified to do this on my own. I'm only qualified through Jesus. So, yeah. So good on you, Carmen. Good on you. Yes. I love that. Okay, what else are you guys saying? Juanita said, I taught my children to be friendly to everyone, but choose your friends wisely. Oh, yes. Very good. They are in their late 30s. I'll recall that, and my granddaughters are being taught the same thing. Yes. Very cool. It's a good idea. Choose your friends wisely. Yep. I have a lot of online friends, and I love them. And I have very, very few close friends, Mostly because I think your close friends, you gotta put effort. You gotta put effort into it. You can't do that with everyone, right? I mean, there's not enough time in the day. Okay, so where are we now? Where are we? Aw, Jenny, I'm sorry to hear that, honey. Yeah, I'm sorry. Okay, so where are we? Drop darker spots of color around the image. Outline the spots with a black or white pen. Oh man, so I have to outline these spots? Okay, I guess I'll outline the spots. I really like them not outlined, but okay. I'm gonna outline them. A lot of times I don't want to do something and then it actually works out. So I'm actually gonna do it like kind of loose. I'm gonna do it loose so it doesn't like look like, not like down here. So down here they're like, these are very nice circles. Up here I'm just gonna do like a loose circle just to see if it looks a little bit different or better. I kind of like it, so yay for something that's a little bit, look at that. That one kind of bled in, didn't it? Like it'll happen with this one too, probably. Look at that. That's kind of cool. Maybe I should have did that when they were wet, because I really do like how the paint is kind of bleeding into them. Oh, I want to do that. Next time. But look at that. I love this. I should have been doing this all along while they were all still wet, but I love how the ink starts to blend in with that. And I don't know if I can do that just naturally by activating it. A little bit, maybe. Maybe I'll just activate it a little bit and see if I can't just drop in some of this Posca pen just to see how that, if it will bloom like that. No, see, now that I'm trying to do it, it doesn't look right. It looks okay. And maybe we could do a couple that like have a couple of them in there. Yeah. Well, now that I've started it. Do you guys ever do that when you're working in your faith art or whatever? You're like, oh, I didn't want to do that. Now that I've started it, now I'm just gonna have to do it. Cool. I'm kind of cool with that. It looks different, cool, kind of different, cool. A little bit weird, but that's all right. Okay. All right. Good. All right, where are we? I'm cool with the way it's going. It looks really neat and different. I think it says outline the spots with black or white paint pen, and then add the words, verse, or quote, which I've already done. I'm going to outline that, but then I need to ground my tree. I hope that you guys have been enjoying our discussion on loving your enemies. Lisa says, sometimes not ignoring the elephant in the room helps too. Be upfront and acknowledge that you may not be each other's cup of tea. Absolutely. Boy, and will that save you like hours of your life? Absolutely. Find common ground. There's been times that misunderstanding is the root of the problem. I find that to be like primarily the case for me. It's usually misunderstanding. Someone, and the problem I think with me is I wear my emotions on my face, or sometimes I have like different expressions on my face. So my face like will tell you a lot of times what maybe I have thought, but maybe don't mean to think. You know how sometimes you have something in your head that pops into your head and you're like, oh my gosh, why did that pop into my head? Well, that happens to me a lot, and my face shows it. And it doesn't mean I feel that way. It just means that something popped into my head and my face shows you that. And it, it gets me in trouble. It gets me in a lot of trouble. Okay, love your enemy. So I'm going to outline this, and then I need to ground my tree. My tree is not grounded. It is just floating out here in the middle of nowhere. So I am going to, you see how she is grounded with this verse? Yeah, the rest of it's not. So I'm going to go ahead and just ground that tree right there. Maybe I add a few little hills and valleys, or something that just kind of represents something a little more grounded. So now my tree is grounded. It's not floating up in the air. That makes me happy. I love that this looks kind of different like this. Ooh. Okay, Lonnie just did something with the RV. Now you can see No, it's fine. That's okay. It's fine. It's fine. No, you can pull it back if you need to. He's changing the awning, but I really like all the different um, dots and stuff in here. So with that, I'm going to add a few more. And so this is where you can add a little extra creativity. You don't, you can always add to your challenge. If you want to add a little more creativity, you can. All right, what else are you guys saying as we wrap up our live today? Jenny says, used to pray for my husband not to have kids with me. Wow. That's so sad, Jenny. That makes me sad. Hey, Margaret. Glad you're here. You're welcome, Arlene. Have a good day, honey. Aw. People can hurt us, Jenny. I will tell you that I have had certain people, and I won't mention names, say, I wish, I wasn't married to my husband. They wish I wasn't married to my husband, right? And so hurtful, and I still remember it to this day, but I have forgiven her, and now we're great friends. So again, people say things, and then it takes time for them to realize what they were saying. She never has apologized for that, and I don't need her to, so it's okay. But I'm sorry that he said that to your husband, and I'm sorry that he hurt you. People are not always nice. But, right, we can still love them. We can still pray for them. We can create boundaries, that are healthy boundaries, but still love our enemies. So I hope this was fun for you. I hope maybe you had a little fun with Distressed Ink this month and did a little bit of the challenge with me, I hope. And I hope that we had a good discussion on what Proverbs 25:21 through 22 means. And as you think about that this Christmas season, think about how you might use this verse to honor the Lord. Is there someone you need to reach out to? Is there someone you need to drop off a gift to? Is there someone that you need to pray for? All right, my friends. So next meeting will be December 2nd. So I know that's different. So please mark your calendars so I can see you on December 2nd. We're going to have a lot of fun with our December challenge as well. And don't forget to watch Lori's videos as well. She always does a different perspective on it, and she does such a wonderful job. I'm so thankful for her. I'm so thankful for Tammy. I'm so thankful for Shallon, and I'm definitely thankful for you. I hope that you guys have a very, very blessed November, and I will see you bright and early the second day of December. What'd you say, Lisa? She said, I try to remember hurting people hurt people. Absolutely. It doesn't make it right. It just helps me to not keep it in my heart, which is the most important thing. Amen. What a wonderful way to end this live. Remember, hurting people hurt people. So we can forgive it, we can let it go, we can pray to God, and we don't need to take revenge, right? We can take revenge in the form of love. How about that? All right, you guys, I love you. I will see you next month. Okay, have a wonderful day. Bye. Bye. Have a good November. We'll see you December 2nd. Don't forget. Okay, bye-bye.